Hey Loc Stars, the Loc Doctress here, loctician and lock wearer for over 15 years. Thank you so much for joining in. Before I get into this dope lock content, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can continue bringing you dope lock content, talking about my personal lock journey, giving you some loctician advice, and so much more. Next, I want to get into my very own line of Loc Care products. These are just a few that I'm going to be talking about today. I have my moisturizer spray, my hair growth oil, my oil sheen, and my curling foam. So make sure you go to Maconstyles.com and grab you some today. So today I'm going to be talking about my Microloc journey of 3 weeks now, and everything that I've learned along the way, just sharing some things with you guys and hope that this helps you in your journey. I cut off my traditional locks of 15 years to transition to Microlocs, and here's why. So when I first started my lock journey 15 years ago, I decided to go with this size, which is, I consider this a small medium. At the time, I didn't know much about my hair type, being that I was transitioning from relaxer. And if you've transitioned from relaxer, you know that going from straight hair and you've literally never seen your natural hair, or you haven't seen your natural hair in years, you didn't know what you were going to get. So I was transitioning from relaxer in addition to wanting to start my lock journey, which is a transition in itself. So when I started my lock journey, I didn't really know about all of the different sizes. I just thought that it would be a standard thing, one size fits all. Along the way, I've learned so much about the lock journey. I've come to have a whole deeper love and understanding of the journey. And after 15 years, I feel like this size that the Microloc offers will give me much more versatility. So the length that my locks were, you can see that these look pretty short for 15 years. I know you're probably wondering, like, this is pretty short. What happened? So over the years, I trimmed my locks. So this is the length that my locks were when I cut them 2 weeks ago. After I cut my locks, they were about shoulder length, and then I combed them out, which is why my hair is this length with my Microlocs. So I did want to retain some length, that way I would have a little bit of a head start with my Microloc journey. So I just want to do a Microloc tour today. I want to show you what my roots are looking like at 3 weeks. We'll notice that my roots are already fuzzy. When I cut my locks off and I decided to do the comb out, I lost a lot of length. This was how much shedding I got and breakage after combing out my locks. Now, as my hair grows out and those areas that had some breakage starts to grow longer, I will be able to manicure my parts a little bit more. So I have a few areas that the parts were not straight because my breakage was like so short. It's like the hair strands were like this. The shedding that happens takes away volume. That's what happened in my case. So what you're seeing is not the true volume that I would have. Some of my breakage happened at the roots. So I had really short strands on my scalp. Some of my breakage was on the actual strands. So this is just a creative way for me to still have the Microloc journey while I'm treating my hair, moisturizing it, hydrating, and things of that nature, from my hair being locked for 15 years and doing the comb out and having the extensive breakage that happened. So my locks are partially Microlocked. The ends are curled. And so this is going to grow out, and as it grows out, I will continue doing like trims every now and then. But in the meantime, I'm just embracing this look, getting the best of both worlds. It feels like my hair is loose, but it's also locked, which is pretty fun for me because, like I said, I started with relaxed transitioning hair. So I never really got the opportunity to go through the natural hair phase and appreciate my natural hair texture. So I really just love my hair and I'm embracing it while I'm starting a new loc journey. Now, there are some that are in there where I locked it further down. So some right in the middle where the hair strands were perfect, there was no breakage, I was able to lock it all the way. But a lot of the loose hair that you're seeing is because some of my locks could only interlock partially down before it got excessively thin from breakage. So if that's you and you were told from a Microloc specialist that you can't get Microlocs because you have too much breakage, then that's something you may want to consider, just depending on how much breakage there is. There are different levels of breakage. My breakage was minimum, so I was still able to go in and create the structure and foundation of Microlocs, knowing that over time I'm going to groom and straighten up my parts more as my new growth comes in. So there are different ways that you could work around breakage, just depending on how much breakage that there is. Some of the shorter ones that you're seeing along the hairline here, this is from when I experienced postpartum thinning on my hairline. These were literally way shorter than what you see now. So I was able to interlock it. Thanks to my hair growth oil, I was using the Loc Doctor's Mega Growth Oil. It's amazing. It has all natural herbal ingredients in it. It has castor oil, ginger oil, peppermint oil, rosemary, tea tree oil, coconut oil, jojoba oil, vitamin E, grapeseed oil, and peppermint leaf. So I was using this on a daily basis, really just trying to get my roots back in order. So I knew for a while, almost like a year or two, that I wanted to start my Microloc journey. I was using my hair growth oil a couple times a day and just going in and focusing on my edges and my hairline and any areas that were thinning. And I would just go in and rub it in. So I was pretty dedicated to making sure that my hair was stronger and healthier postpartum, because this is just a result of what happened from combing out my locks. So imagine if my hair was thinning as well from postpartum shedding, and it's shedding from doing the comb out, I would have had very, very little hair to work with. Now I go in and define my curls with the Curl My Locks setting foam by the Loc Doctress, and I'm just taking a couple of pumps and going through strand by strand and defining these curls. And this really helps because moisturizing and keeping the hair detangled is what's going to allow my Microlocs to grow out and my loose natural hair not experience bunching, where the hair is getting clumpy and thick at the ends as a result of not moisturizing and detangling. So I just go in with my Loc Doctress moisturizing spray, and this really does well with hydration and locking in the moisture. And my hair being damaged and broken off from doing the comb out, this really helps. So there is more maintenance required when doing curly Microlocs, because you're going to have to do the Microloc maintenance, which is the maintenance of the actual roots, and then you have to do the maintenance of the loose hair strand as well to make sure that it's not tangling up and it's not getting dry and breaking off. When doing the interlock method and doing my Microloc install, I did notice that many of my parts were not as crisp and clean as I wanted them to be, because the breakage occurred on a lot of my roots. I did not do a tight retie. Locks are already tiny. I did a retie that would still allow my roots to have a little bit of flexibility. I don't like a tight retie, even when I'm doing my own clients' reties, because I feel like that contributes to high tension and potential thinning. As many clients as I've had over the years, when they interlock and it's done too tightly, I don't care if it's Microloc size or if it's traditional size, whenever I see interlocking done too tightly, especially depending on their hair type, I always notice thinning as well. So me understanding my hair type, I know that tight, high tension styles will cause thinning. This was the case for me even when I was doing protective styles. When you're getting your reties, really consider doing a low tension retie. The locks are already tiny. The last thing you want is to be going in every 6 to 8 weeks or however often you're going in and pulling this tiny strand of hair with a bunch of tension. It should not feel so tight where the stylist is telling you at the end of the appointment that you need to spray your roots with water to loosen it up. That is an extremely tight retie, and I'm sorry, but water will not eliminate the tension. It's totally possible to get your roots groomed and tame the new growth and maintain your grid with doing a low tension retie. If you opt for a low tension retie and you're doing less rotations to tighten up your roots, then you may have to go in more frequently because the frizz or new growth may start to show sooner. At least you're avoiding high tension that can result in thinning that's irreversible. Some people experience alopecia as a result of high tension styles or high tension interlocking and reties. And I know I'm mentioning Microlocs, but this is really something that applies for any size. People with medium and small locks also get the interlock method. It's just more common for them to get retwists. Lastly, I go in with my finishing gloss after defining my curl, and I just spray. And this smells amazing. I love the smell of the finishing gloss here. And these are all products that I use on my clients as well, and they love it. So I use this entire system when grooming my Microlocs. The curls are defined, they're nicely moisturized and hydrated. I'm really loving how they came out, and I can't wait to share more with you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video today. Please stay tuned for more. Make sure you subscribe so that I can continue bringing you dope loc content and talking more about my Microloc journey. Stay tuned.
Maconstyles.com